We've all done it. You see a headline but don't have time to read the whole story, or there's so much news you're not sure what is worth your time. I'm Colby Ekowitz, co-host of Post Reports, the weekday afternoon podcast from The Washington Post. Post Reports brings you what's relevant and revealing. Breaking stories, politics, wellness, culture. Each episode goes beyond a headline for the context you need. Find Post Reports now, wherever you're listening.
Ryan Seacrest here. When you have a busy schedule, it's important to maximize your downtime. One of the best ways to do that is by going to ChumbaCasino.com. Chumba Casino has all your favorite social casino games like spin slots, bingo, and solitaire that you can play for free for a chance to redeem some serious prizes. So hop on to ChumbaCasino.com now and live the Chumba life. Sponsored by Chumba Casino.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 21 plus. Terms and conditions apply.
You're listening to Later with Mo Kelly on demand from KFI AM 640.
Now on the Mo Kelly Show, it's Tiffany Hobbs, the viral load.
She'll speak of all the viral things social media can bring.
Facebook, Insta, X, TikTok, the viral load with Tiffany Hobbs. Viral load, viral load, the viral load. Viral load with Tiffany Hobbs.
Later with Mo Kelly, live on YouTube, iHeartRadio app, and Instagram right now. So if you want to see the show and also see Tiffany Hobbs in the viral load, here we go.
And I'm back. Thank you, everyone, for checking on me last week. I really appreciate it. I was checking in with the YouTube chat, Mo, and they were, your listeners were just so kind to me and wondering where I was. Well, everybody, thank you for that. And I am back with this week's viral load. So let's get into it. The very first story comes courtesy of Disney World, a place that is often talked about here on the Mo Kelly Show. And in this case, there's a father who has gone viral on TikTok to the tune of millions of views and hundreds of thousands of comments. His name is Craig Stoll, and he went viral, is going viral currently because he has a family of 5, including himself, and he outlined what he spent at Disney World for a single day visit.
Just one day.
I'm going to do a little round robin.
Okay.
So 5 people, 5 tickets, food, everything else. Mo, what do you think Craig Stoll spent?
He spent at least $750 on the tickets. He spent another $250 on foods. I want to say $1,100.
$1,100 going once, going twice. Foosh, what do you think this father spent on? And you can comment in the chat. Please feel free to take a guess. What do you think this father of 4 or 3 rather, and his wife spent on those 5 single pass tickets to Disney World?
The total, right, with the food and everything.
Everything. You haven't seen the story, right?
No, I haven't seen it.
Okay.
I'd say $1,400.
Okay. Mark Ronner.
It's got to be more than that. It's got to be something outrageous because it's already outrageous. Let's go with
Look at him trying to use deductive reasoning.
deductive, inductive, whatever. It's
Reductive.
Yeah, let's go with $2,500.
Okay.
No, in fact, bump it up to $3,000.
$3,000 would be quite generous. The closest one, actually right on the nose, is Foosh. Craig Stoll spent $1,400 on 5 tickets, 5 meals, parking, and just any little add-ons here and there. But those are basically the necessities.
Wow.
And I don't know how you guess
One
that,
day.
Foosh. One day, a single day pass. And the reason that Craig Stoll is going viral is because this is a human interest story. People are getting ready for the summer season, for their vacations, and Disneyland, Disney World, those are prime places. And so Craig let everyone know, we spent all this money, $1,400, and I don't think it was worth it, is what Craig Stoll is saying. He says the food, mediocre at best. The lines, long. The crowds, huge. He says they waited all day just to be able to get on a handful of rides.
Oh, they didn't have any lightning passes or anything like that.
He said if they had bought the lightning passes, they would have been down an additional $400.
Yep.
So now we're talking $1,800 minimum for a single day for his family at Disney World. And this coincides with the fact that Disney World and Disneyland, the company, are both saying that they are going to raise prices in 2026.
Isn't it fair to assume they're going to raise prices every single year regardless?
I think so. I think at this point it's just a formality to announce it, but they do it with or without our consent. So Craig Stoll, not happy with Disney World, and millions of people are chiming in to say the same. Our next story still stays with the theme of vacationing. Maybe you've vacationed before. Maybe you've gone to Portugal. I haven't. But if you have gone to Portugal or any other place, of course, there are different ways that you can find accommodations. Airbnb being one of the more popular things that you can use to find lodging. Well, there's a clip that's gone viral on TikTok. It's from a content creator out of Canada named Anne Matthew. She goes by Brown Girl Thriving. And she captured the moment her Airbnb host began cooking her a warm meal just after she checked in at midnight.
Wait. I don't eat at just anybody's house. I need to know, and this may be a cultural thing, but I was raised, you just don't eat at everyone's house. Yeah. I don't know you like that, dog.
Yeah. And Anne Matthew, 24 years old, so she's ambitious and adventurous, 20-year-old. She said that she wanted to go to Portugal. She's always wanted to go. And she booked this Airbnb because the family that is the hosting family for the accommodations for this home, said that they were very friendly, and they said that they did enjoy cooking for their guests. However, Anne did not expect to be greeted by the family after midnight.
Yeah, that's true.
And then with a home cooked meal that she was then obligated to enjoy after midnight after checking in. Now, Airbnb is offering these add-on experiences through their website. This was not one of them. This was the courtesy of the homeowners to do this for Anne Matthew. But if you are interested in having cooks, massage, involving yourselves in massages, I guess you can say, having pedicures, manicures, any sort of add-on service. At
somebody's house?
At someone's house, you can go through Airbnb.com.
Hells no.
And find their new services option.
Hells no.
When we come back, we'll get into the newest TikTok challenge. Here's a hint. Hide your Chromebook.
It's later with Mo Kelly. KFI AM 640, YouTube, Instagram Live, YouTube.
Everywhere.
I'm not eating someone's food. I'm just at Airbnb
after midnight.
That's weird. That's really, really weird,
Uncomfortable.
Tiffany.
I don't like it. I don't like it one
beginning
day.
of a true crime.
Yeah, it's like you're going to kidnap me or something.
Yeah.
Why are you fixing me food?
And then expecting you to eat it. Watching you.
I tell you, that's
Watch
a cultural.
you enjoy it.
It's a cultural difference. It must be something in Portugal because I was just raised like you just don't eat in anyone's house.
We've all done it. You see a headline but don't have time to read the whole story, or there's so much news you're not sure what is worth your time. I'm Colby Ickowitz, co-host of Post Reports, the weekday afternoon podcast from the Washington Post. Post Reports brings you what's relevant and revealing. Breaking stories, politics, wellness, culture. Each episode goes beyond a headline for the context you need. Find Post Reports now, wherever you're listening.
It is Ryan Seacrest here. There was a recent social media trend which consisted of flying on a plane with no music, no movies, no entertainment. But a better trend would be going to ChumbaCasino.com. It's like having a mini social casino in your pocket. Chumba Casino has over 100 online casino-style games, all absolutely free. It's the most fun you can have online and on a plane. So grab your free welcome bonus now at ChumbaCasino.com. Sponsored by Chumba Casino.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 21 plus. Terms and conditions apply.
Like that.
You're listening to Later with Mo Kelly on demand from KFI AM 640.
Now it's time for the viral load with Tiffany. Live on KFI's Later with Mo Kelly. She'll talk about the toughest on social media. The viral load with Tiffany Hobbs.
AM 640, YouTube, and Instagram. We're live everywhere. Now to part 2 of the Viral Load with Tiffany Hobbs.
Okay. If you have a Chromebook, hide it. Hide it right now. Leave this segment and hide it. Especially, and really honestly only, if you have teenagers in your household.
Voila!
Hide your Chromebook. And here's why. The newest TikTok challenge does not involve ingesting Tide Pods or dumping buckets of water over your friends' heads. No, this one might even be stupider because it's more costly. And what's happening is teenagers around the country have taken to TikTok to involve themselves in something called the Chromebook Challenge, where they jam small objects like paper clips, small pencils, anything sharp into the USB port of the Chromebook, of the laptop, which then causes the laptop to short circuit and in some cases catch fire.
How is this a challenge? What is the upside of this? What's the point of this? What do you win? What do you get if you turn your own laptop into an incendiary device?
That's exactly what you get. You get the satisfaction of blowing up or getting your laptop to light up so that you can then record it and post it online, as these teenagers are doing on TikTok.
The laptop that they didn't buy, which may also be a school laptop.
Correct. And that's what's happening. This is mainly taking place on school campuses. Just today, we found out that Long Beach is the newest city dealing with this challenge. As of now, I had mostly seen these stories coming out of the Midwest and the East Coast. Not to say that they weren't happening here in Southern California, but they hadn't yet made the news. And as of today, even reported right here on KFI, a 13-year-old girl in Long Beach was arrested because she took part in the Chromebook challenge. And she's now being accused of arson after she caused her laptop to catch fire. So this is a new wave. It's sweeping the country, unfortunately, because kids are seeing what they can do, how far they can go. And in many cases, they are, in fact, causing their laptops to catch fire and then activating the sprinkler systems in their classrooms.
I don't have anything to say. It's dumb. It is. I don't know what to say. At least usually with some of the other TikTok challenges, I could intellectually understand. You get some sort of social media status. You can get some likes or something. I don't know who would want to see this.
Kids. And a lot of it's fear of missing out as well. So they see kids doing it online and then they want to try it. And the thing that's even further harmful about this or further concerning is that there are fire marshals cautioning everyone to not do this because they say that if the battery is involved, then corrosive air chemicals such as acids and other things that are irritants to people can be released into the air. And when people breathe these irritants in, they can cause a lot of irreparable damage to themselves, or at least damage in the short term.
Yeah, we don't need to worry about the meteor or the asteroid hitting us. We're gonna off ourselves. We're not gonna make it to the 22nd century. We're not. There's no way.
Steph, I know I skipped the audio on that story because I really want to get to this audio and the final story for the sake of time. So this last story, our final story of tonight's Viral Load, involves the Pope. And of course, we have a new Pope, Pope Leo. He went through conclave. The cardinals chose Pope Leo. There's been all this pomp and circumstance, and the world is celebrating. And who else is celebrating? News anchors. Because this is one of the biggest stories of the year. And one news anchor in particular, his name is Tony DeCouple from CBS.
Oh, CBS, yeah.
Went on air to try to explain what was going on in a clip that has now gone viral.
So they sit the whole time? They don't stand up and
most of them will tell you that while that's going on, they're sitting reading their breviary. That's a book of prayers that clergy have, or praying a rosary, or doing. The one thing we know they're not doing is checking Instagram because their devices have all been confiscated.
I believe the kids call it raw dogging it if you're going to go through a long period of time with no electronic device.
Yeah.
he said raw dogging on air. And raw dogging is a slang term for what, Mo?
It has a number of different meanings.
What's the more popular
depending
meaning,
on the
Mo
generation.
Kelly? Spare me the politics. What's the meaning of raw dogging?
When I was a young lad, when I was coming along, it was a colloquialism for having unprotected sex.
Tony DeCouple used the term raw dogging to explain how the conclave itself functioned, saying that the Cardinals had no technology and that they were without access to social media. Then he called it that colloquialism.
Yeah, but I've heard it used in other contexts because young people, they would be flying these transcontinental flights, and they said, if you don't use your devices, if you don't have a book to read, and you're just sitting in your chair and dealing with the flight and your thoughts in your own head, they call that raw dogging. I didn't agree with that terminology. I think it had already been claimed, and you cannot reassociate or rename certain things. Raw dogging was raw dogging.
We did that as a viral load when it broke.
You did that.
And you love saying the word raw dogging. But here's the thing. What? No one has used it for the Pope, Mo Kelly.
No, there is some irony that you're using a term
conclave,
which could have a sexual connotation in regard to someone who's taken a vow of celibacy.
Oh, this just gets we need to let this one go.
You brought it up.
Why
we gotta let it go? I wasn't holding on to it.
No pun intended. Let it go.
The load lady.
The load lady is out. You can follow me on Instagram at Tiff Hobbs on here, and every Saturday on Saturdays with Tiffany right here on KFI from 5 to 7 p.m. And I'm filling in this Sunday from 2 to 4. I'm all over.
Hey, wait a minute. Why didn't Tiffany get a rim shot? No, I didn't think you have to do it now. I'm saying, why didn't she? Past tense.
It doesn't work
Why
when
did
it's
she
late.
not? Look,
Steph,
he's not listening to
he
the show.
said, let it go. It brought it up, put it down, and I said, and you didn't even acknowledge that.
We're gonna take that rim shot away from you, right? One more again.
He's raw dogging the board right now. He's not connected to it as much.
But I'm trying to hold on to the word. When we come back, we have a Waymo update. And once for all, we're going to put this debate to rest. I am right. Tawal is wrong. Waymo's not to be trusted. It is a menace. And we're all going to die the longer those cars are on the street.
You're listening to Later with Mo Kelly on demand from KFI AM 640.
Mr. Mo Kelly, he warns us all. Says autonomous vehicles might be our downfall. But then Tawala comes on and claims it's all under control. He says Mo Kelly is wrong, but Mo thinks he's on the payroll of Waymo. Cause Waymo be bad. Run you over, Waymo be bad. Run over ground, Waymo be bad. Run you over, Waymo be bad. The end of us all.
It's Later with Mo Kelly live on YouTube, the iHeartRadio app, and Instagram. And Waymo is recalling more than 1,200 vehicles due to a software defect. Let me put that in air quotes. Software defect. That sounds like a hardware defect. You're telling me that you can't upload or update the software remotely? You have an autonomous vehicle, but you have to bring the car in to update the software? You know why they did that? You know why? You don't know why. I'm going to tell you why. Because a series of crashes with gates, chains, and other obstacles in the road. In other words, these vehicles are crashing.
Wait. What type of reading are you doing?
That's what it said. That's what it said.
Minor crashes with gates, chains, and other obstacles in the road that did not result in any injuries.
Why
any injury?
Why does it have to result in
because you're
injuries?
laying. I want you to make sure you're factual in the reporting. I don't want you to skip over major details like that.
Okay, if I get in a car accident, like I was recently rear-ended, just because I got in a car accident and I wasn't injured, it doesn't make it less of a car accident.
Well, Mo Tawala's whipping out the "did they die" argument.
Right. but it goes on. The recall applies to 1,212 driverless vehicles operating on Waymo's 5th generation automated driving software. There have been these crashes, minor or not, that you, Tawala, have not informed us on.
I am letting you know about them now. That's why I brought them in the fullness of making sure that we are reporting everything. I brought this story to the table because I don't want there to be any, why'd you hide that story? Why'd you bury that story?
You obviously were burying all these other crashes that we didn't know about.
All of these things,
they're not getting the crashes.
All of these things were minor. These are things that were happening between cars and objects, not cars that had people in them. Waymo was detecting these. Waymo, the company, was detecting these and brought these cars in.
Hey, Mark, if a car gets into an accident with a wall, they call it like a one-car collision. It's still a collision, though, right?
Yeah, now they're going to have Waymo cars off the road.
No. Actually, you'd be wrong. Take that joke back because the cars are actually back on the road. Waymo released a software update to resolve the issue at hand, and the update has already been rolled out in all affected vehicles. The recall notice has said the company operates more than 100 or 1,500. Only 1,212 were recalled. Only 1,212.
Point of
1,212
order,
were recalled. They have more than 1,500 on the road.
The NHTSA has opened an investigation into Waymo dating back to May 2024 after receiving reports of 22 incidents involving this 5th generation software. The agency said that several incidents under investigation, quote, involve collisions with clearly visible objects that a competent driver would be expected to avoid. Thank you very much.
Wait a minute. Look, you put your headphones back on because you are walking away with your butt on your shoulders.
Real drivers are worse.
Look, real drivers are worse than this. Real drivers are worse than this because you know what? Because you know what, Mo?
To your corners.
A Waymo did not run into you, good sir.
No justice? No
Waymo did not run into Mo Kelly. You know who ran into Mo Kelly? A person.
No Waymo.
A person ran into Mo Kelly. Wasn't a Waymo. We actually, while we were out going to brunch not long ago, we saw plenty of Waymos rolling around Mo's neck of the woods. And you know what? Not only has this recall not affected any vehicles currently on the road. I love how you missed that. The recall does not affect any vehicles currently on the road, but our very own Tiffany Hobbs, who wants to sit here quiet as a church mouse, was in a Waymo for Mother's Day. She actually took
I have a lot to say.
her mother and her aunt on a Waymo trip.
The last word is yours. Go ahead, Tiffany Hobbs.
I think that one of the cars that we were in should have been one of the cars that was recalled because it dropped us off in the middle of a parking lot and demanded that we get out in traffic and did not move as multiple cars.
Was it traffic or a parking lot?
Both. It's traffic
There's
in the
traffic
parking
in a parking
lot,
lot.
a very busy parking lot in which another...
Was it your destination?
Barely.
That's
it didn't take us directly to our destination. It was way more annoying than we needed it to be. Way more inconvenient. So I would not, and I was saying this off air. Yes, we did it for Mother's Day. It was an experiment. We wanted to do some journalistic and, investigation for you, Tawala.
I appreciate it.
And we did it on city streets. I would never take a Waymo on anything other than a short trip. It was extremely expensive and it did not feel entirely safe because it constantly let us out in areas when we got out a couple of times in areas that were high traffic areas, and it stopped. It just stopped itself where people were honking.
Why'd you get out multiple times?
Waymo's racist.
Yes.
Why did you guys get out multiple times?
And I felt that. Honestly, it took us to places we had no business going.
What do you mean places you had no business going? How did it do that? You're in control of the drive.
No, you're not. It was 3 miles, and it cost upward of $20.
3 miles.
3
miles.
3 miles.
miles.
But I'm saying,
$20.
Three miles. one way, you choose the destination?
Yes, it also changed lanes in an intersection. It did not read a fork in the road and almost took us into a center divider. And there's nothing you can do. There's stickers everywhere saying, do not touch the wheel by any means.
Yes, you will be electrocuted.
You'll be shot. Yeah. On site.
Won't
do
Waymo,
it again.
Team Waymo will come and get you.
It's way more violent than I had, wanted to do on Mother's Day. Okay.
Now, Tiffany, did you and your mother wear crash helmets during the ride?
No, you know what?
Full body armor.
No, this is lies and garbage. Her beautiful mother and her beautiful aunt were enjoying the trip the entire time. They were in the back just
worst Mother's Day I've ever subjected them
the
to.
entire time Tiffany spent vlogging on Instagram.
For journalism, because I am a real journalist and I wanted to do some
Only one person of the two of you is in Waymo's pocket, so
never again.
I'm inclined to believe Tiffany over you.
Oh, whatever. You have not been in a Waymo.
And I'm still alive. Thank you very much.
Is Waymo constructing a Tawala Tower someplace?
Twala, you care to answer that? Did they gift you with the $400 million jet?
Yes.
That is not something Waymo does. Waymo does not practice that type of bribery.
Did they offer to open a hotel in your name or something?
No. No.
Oh, the outrage
and
is
you know,
palpable.
and you know what? And you know, I didn't pay for Tiffany to take this trip. She did it on her own because she wanted to see. But you know what Tiffany is right now? She's right here. She's here.
She's alive.
She's alive.
Barely.
Tiffany, you
barely.
We gotta go to break. We gotta check in also with George Norrie of Coast to Coast AM when we come back, and I have my final thought, and it's going to be on Pete Rose and the recent news surrounding him. It's later with Mo Kelly, live on Instagram, live on YouTube.
We've all done it. You see a headline but don't have time to read the whole story, or there's so much news you're not sure what is worth your time. I'm Colby Ickowitz, co-host of Post Reports, the weekday afternoon podcast from the Washington Post. Post Reports brings you what's relevant and revealing. Breaking stories, politics, wellness, culture. Each episode goes beyond a headline for the context you need. Find Post Reports now, wherever you're listening.
Hello, it is Ryan, and I was on a flight the other day playing one of my favorite social spin slot games on ChumbaCasino.com. I looked over at the person sitting next to me, and you know what they were doing? They were also playing Chumba Casino. Coincidence? I think not. Everybody's loving having fun with it. Chumba Casino is home to hundreds of casino-style games that you can play for free anytime, anywhere, even at 30,000 feet. So sign up now at ChumbaCasino.com to claim your free welcome bonus. That's ChumbaCasino.com and live the Chumba life.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. See terms and conditions. 18+.
YouTube, live on the iHeartRadio app.
You're listening to Later with Mo Kelly on demand from KFI AM 640.
It's Later with Mo Kelly, live on YouTube, the iHeartRadio app, and still live on Instagram. Coming up in just a few moments will be Coast to Coast AM with my friend George Norrie, who joins us now with a preview. How are you, George?
Great, Mr. Kelly. We've got a classic Coast to Coast show tonight. We're going to talk about the Giza pyramids and what might be underneath them. And then later on, we're going time traveling on Coast to Coast.
Oh, I need them to hurry up and invent time travel in this timeline so I can go back and make some things right in my life.
If you went back, where would you go?
I'd probably go back to the mid-1980s, buy some Apple stock, try to meet up with some of the founders of Google, be an early investor, stuff like that. Maybe tell off an old girlfriend, things of that nature.
Good idea. See you later.
See you soon. You might have heard by now, Pete Rose, the late, great, air quotes, Pete Rose may be on his way to the Major League Baseball's Hall of Fame because of a recent announcement which removed him from the permanently ineligible list. Here are some facts. Pete Rose is still Major League Baseball's all-time hits leader. Nobody has more hits than him. Nobody. Nobody is anywhere close. His on-field resume is Hall of Fame worthy. It's undeniable. Here's some other facts. Pete Rose bet on baseball. Pete Rose bet on his own team while manager of the Cincinnati Reds. After 15 years of public denial, Rose finally admitted to both back in 2004. That's not subject to debate. Here's Rule 21 of Major League Baseball. It is as follows. Quote, any player, umpire, or club or league official or employee who shall bet any sum whatsoever upon any baseball game in connection with which the bettor has a duty to perform shall be declared permanently ineligible. Remember, that's player, umpire, club, league official, or employee. And permanently ineligible is not to be confused with for life. Permanently means forever. It's not the same. Shoeless Joe Jackson and other members of the 1919 Chicago White Sox were permanently ineligible for Hall of Fame consideration for fixing the World Series, which is betting by another name. The team has subsequently been called the Black Sox for the black mark it placed on the sport. That's really important. The rule against betting on baseball in any form by any player, ump, or personnel member was inarguable and sacrosanct. Note, I didn't say fan. Don't conflate the two. Just because you can bet because of FanDuel or what have you, that's fan stuff, not people connected to the game. Earlier this week, baseball commissioner Rob Manfred made the decision to remove not only Pete Rose, but even shoeless Joe Jackson of the Chicago Black Sox from the permanently ineligible list. It doesn't automatically mean either or both will be elected to the Hall, but more likely than not, they will get in. The point of my final thought tonight is this. This was a horrible, horrible, horrible decision and doesn't take into account the larger implications. It says that all bets are off, pun intended. It says there is no longer any red line. Tacitly, it's been made clear that there is no death penalty for betting on baseball or fixing games. Do you hear me? You can still end up in the Hall of Fame. The Major League Baseball Hall of Fame has never been a repository for the moralists. There are plenty of objectively and undeniably horrible people in the Hall of Fame presently. But the individual moral failings of the individual cannot and do not call into question the integrity of the game. It can't bring down the totality of the sport. The reason why people like A-Rod, Mark McGwire, Barry Bonds, Roger Clemens, Sammy Sosa, and others are not in the Hall of Fame is due to alleged and or confirmed use of performance-enhancing substances. Integrity of the game. Whereas there was no official rule banning players from the Hall of Fame for PED use, those aforementioned players haven't gotten close nonetheless, even though their on-field accomplishments normally would merit inclusion. But back to Rose. It's now open season, another pun intended. There is literally nothing to discourage anyone from betting on baseball, big picture. And that's a big problem. Not casting aspersions, but let's say a player like, Shohei Ohtani, just picking a random player. Shohei Ohtani has a Hall of Fame resume right now. Even if he retired today, he's probably in. And let's say somewhere down the line, hypothetically speaking, of course, we find out that he was fixing games, throwing games, or betting on baseball as a player. He would never do that. This is all hypothetical. You would not be able to turn around and say, well, you can't put him in the Hall of Fame because, in theory, you would have let Pete Rose in. You would have let shoeless Joe Jackson in. And Rule 21 is no longer sacrosanct. There's no cudgel to hold over players' heads. There is no backstop. Another pun. There's no backstop to protect the sport from the actions of these individuals. No proverbial sword of Damocles, that's for Mark Ronner, to hold over any player today or in the future. Because you've made the risk worth the reward, especially for players or player personnel. Here's why. And this is something that you probably haven't heard on any other show or any other discussion about this. Did you know it's not illegal? It's not illegal for players to bet on themselves in their own sports. It is not inherently illegal. Usually how players went about it was illegal because they were using illegal means or bookies in which to do it. But in and of itself, it's not illegal. It's not breaking the law. Professional sports across the board forbid it and threaten to ban players for it. But it's not specifically against the law. Don't confuse disallowed with illegal. They're not the same. And I'm coming home. Major League Baseball, by removing the deterrent of making someone permanently ineligible, you've now created the permanent possibility that a player or many players will risk the integrity of the sport to make some money on the side. It's the worst kind of bet that any sports commissioner can make. History will not be kind to Major League Baseball Commissioner Rob Manfred, nor should it be, because there is no reason for any player now and going forward not to consider betting on their own sport, betting on themselves, because at the end of it all, the worst thing that could happen is they would only be suspended and nothing more. For KFI AM 640, I'm Mo Kelly.
Untangling the mess until it makes sense.
KFI.
And KOST HD2.
Los Angeles, Orange County.
Live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app.
I'm Molly Roberts.
And I'm Drew Goins. Each Friday on Impromptu, we talk through the questions we can't stop thinking about.
Do we need to rethink how much we drink?
Why are companies really asking workers to come back to the office?
Does boycotting a business actually work?
Should we quit social media?
We're here when the news gets personal and the headlines hit home.
Join Molly and me every Friday on Impromptu from Washington Post Opinions.
Find Impromptu wherever you get your podcasts.
It is Ryan Seacrest here. There was a recent social media trend which consisted of flying on a plane with no music, no movies, no entertainment. But a better trend would be going to ChumbaCasino.com. It's like having a mini social casino in your pocket. Chumba Casino has over 100 online casino-style games, all absolutely free. It's the most fun you can have online and on a plane. So grab your free welcome bonus now at ChumbaCasino.com. Sponsored by Chumba Casino.
No